Welcome to Math 1324. This is section 3.3. We continue to look at banking and financial applications. All right, here in question 1, we want to find I. I is the rate per period. In actuality, the words give you the formula, rate per period. It's rate R divided by how often the compounding is done. So let's see, we have 7%, which is 0.07, and it's compounded monthly. And so when you do this division, you get lots of decimals, and they say round it to 4 decimal places. All right, so we round this to 4 decimal places, and I get 0.0058. Okay, and so what else do they want? They want us to find N, which is the number of periods, the total number of periods. Well, we're doing this for 9 years, 12 times a year, and so the total number of periods is 9 times 12. The years cancel, and we get 108 months or 108 total periods because this is done on a monthly basis. All right, in question 2. We want to use the future value formula to figure out how much we're going to have at a future time. Well, what's going on? We have a payment, that's this PMT, so we're going to make $57 payments. The interest rate, I, is 0.04. They're giving that to us. All right, I, remember, has the rates in there. It's rate divided by N. And N, we're going to do this for 36 periods. All right, 36 total periods. All right, so we simply put all these numbers in and start calculating. Now, the only trick here is to keep all of this in your calculator. So you're going to calculate 1.04 raised to the 36 and then subtract 1. So get all that in your calculator. Don't write anything down. Then divide by 0.04 and finally multiply by 57. And when you do that, you get this number, and we're going to round it to 2 decimal places for money. And so we get 44.2310. Again, you start on the inside. Get this exponent part first, then subtract 1, press equal so it does the subtraction, divided by 0.04 equals so it does the division, and finally multiply by 57 and then press equal so it does the calculation. All right, question 3. We want to use the future value formula. Here's our formula again. Payment 1 plus I to the n minus 1 all over I. But in this case, I'm looking to find the payment. We have the future value. We have I and we have n. So I'm going to take this formula, which is our normal future value formula, and I'm going to solve for the payment. And I do that by simply dividing both sides by this big item here. And so I'm going to take my future value, which is 38.29, divide that by 1 plus I to the 15th minus 1 all over 0.04. All right, now I can at least add these together, so that's a 1.04. Now the easiest way to calculate this is, again, do the exponent part minus 1. Divide that by 0.04. That gives you all the stuff in the denominator. You need 1 over that number. So then you would hit your 1 over x key and then multiply it by 3829. Now that's the easiest way rather than trying to start with the top. So again, get the exponent part, minus 1 equals. Divided by 0.04 equals. That gives you the bottom. But you need 1 over the bottom. That's why you press the 1 over x key and then multiply that result by 3829. When you round this to 2 decimal places for money, you get 191.22. Question 4. What do we mean by this ordinary annuity? Well, what is that? Well, we make some equal periodic payments when the payments are made at each time interval. For example, you make a car loan, a house payment. It's done typically on a monthly basis where you make a payment. All right, question 5. We want to solve for the future value formula. I want to take this formula and I want to get n. Now that's way in here as an exponent. Now if you remember, the way we get our hands on exponents is we use the natural log. But to get to it, I need to clean up a bunch of things first. So first off, divide both sides by the payment. All right, that looks better. Get rid of this denominator, so multiply both sides by I. Okay, that gets me to this step. So now I can add 1 to both sides because I want to move this over to the left. Okay, so it's a minus. It would become a plus as you move to the left. So now that I've got this as something raised to a power, take the natural log of both sides. When you do that, this exponent will come out into the front. See, it's right there. And now it's easy because I've got n times something and this big giant thing on the left. So I simply divide both sides by the ln of 1 plus I. And so we get our formula for n. Not a nice looking formula, but it is a formula which would tell you what n was if we knew future value, payment, and I. So that's all there is to this particular section on future value and making payments.